everybody, I'm Ron Cantor, and you're watching Out of Zion on God TV. And I'm sitting with my good friend Avner Bosky from right here in Beersheba. I've known Avner for many years, actually since he was a tour guide for us back in the late 90s, and he won't admit it, but he is the best tour guide ever. But he does so much more than that. He's a prolific writer. Whenever he writes anything, I not only read it, but I plagiarize it. Normally I ask him for permission first, but Avner, first of all, welcome to our little show here.
It's good to be with you, Ron.
You have recently written a book that when I saw the cover of it and the title of it, I said, I need to get a copy of this book. It's How to Be Messianic Without Becoming Meshugana. What does Meshugana mean?
Meshuggah is a Hebrew word in Yiddish, and it means crazy. If you know the Frisco Kid movie, it played a big role in that movie.
Yes, I remember that. Now, why did you write this book?
Well, a lot of people confuse Messianic stuff with crazy stuff, because they've seen crazy stuff. And actually, Messianic identity, if it's done biblically, if it's done well, can be a great blessing. I think Paul says it'll be life from the dead.
Yes.
When the Jewish people come into a good Messianic identity. But on the way, sometimes we have some problems. And this is an effort just to, with a sense of humor and friendliness, to kind of help do a little course correction on some Messianic stuff that sometimes, when it's unbalanced, has driven some people crazy.
I did a video about a year ago called Shofar Abuse. And I think that may be some of the things that you're addressing here. And in the early 70s, late 60s, Messianic Judaism came on the scene, and it came because it was a necessity. So many Jewish people were coming to faith in the Jesus Revolution, but they didn't necessarily feel comfortable in the church, and thus we had Messianic congregations. They were outreach-oriented, but it seems that lately it's more of a obsession with Jewish roots or Jewish things.
Well, it's interesting, because the fact is most Jewish people in America are assimilated. Right. I grew up speaking Yiddish. I was in Yiddish theater and stuff like that. But so many Jewish people, they don't know much except maybe Seinfeld and Billy Crystal and what you call delicatessen Jewishness.
Speaking of Katz's Deli.
Oh, this is a free advertisement right over here. And what's beyond that, I think, is our calling as a people. What are we supposed to be? What's the beauty of that? Why did God invest all his time in creating this people and using us and wanting us to bring life from the dead to the entire world?
I got an email yesterday from a woman. She said, her friend has been telling, she's not Jewish, but her friend has been telling her, you must keep the Torah as a Jew. You must keep kosher. For certainly things that my family never did, even though they're actually Jewish. Yeah. What would you say to that? Well, she obviously was looking for a more balanced view. What would you say to her?
Well, I would say that most Jewish people and most Messianic Jews are actually not Orthodox. It's not their background. And as we came into the whole spiritual thing, most of us, by falling in love with Yeshua.
Right.
So he has to be the center. And of course, he's Jewish, although there was an identity theft, as a friend of mine wrote a book once about that, right?
I know that guy.
Yeah. And so the question is how to restore this stuff without bringing in the bathwater.
Right.
Just real Jewish baby, but not bathwater. So getting back to what you were saying, the Messianic movement, when it started, it came out of evangelism, a lot of it, like Jews for Jesus and other groups like that. And then it moved into congregationalism. And there was a real hope that those congregations were going to be basically a Jewish people movement. That was the term used. Mm-hmm. But in actuality, all over the world, most Messianic congregations are 90% plus Gentiles.
Right.
So sometimes there's a lot of posturing going on. We have to get back to what is the stuff that's user-friendly, what's biblical, what's going to encourage us, what's going to bring us closer to God. And that's what this book is about.
We're going to talk more with Avner Bosky. You're watching Out of Zion on God TV, and go to God.tv so you never miss an episode. You can always find me at roncantor.com. And I want to encourage you to get a copy of How to Be Messianic Without Becoming Meshuggah. And where can people get that?
Right now it's available on our website, which is www.davidstent.org.
Okay, we'll have that on the screen. Make sure you check that out. We're going to spend another segment with Avner Bosky about his book here.
Please follow Ron on Twitter and Facebook @Ron S. Cantor to find out more about Ron and his ministry. For more information on God TV and the Out of Zion programs, or to view these programs again, go to god.tv/Zion.